Welcome back to the channel. Just want to give you guys an update on everything and what we're doing next. The intake manifold's done for the Dakota. I didn't order the throttle body to 4-barrel adapter. I did order it, I just didn't order it in time. So I ordered it yesterday. Maybe it'll get here before the weekend and I'll have enough time to get the manifold on and get everything ready to dyno it this weekend, possibly. If that comes in, that's going to be my plan. I doubt it's going to come in that quick though. So that's it for the Dakota. The 240, it runs, it drives. I'm still waiting on that pulley. I've got to wait till I get some more money up and order a pulley from somewhere else, I guess, and order a different adapter hub, because that looks like that place just flaked. And then I can start tuning it. But there's not a whole lot more besides getting a pulley on it and tuning it that I'm going to do to the 240 for a while. Manual swapping is very expensive. It's got the 1UZ. You can do the KA24DE 5-speed. They're getting harder to come by, and the price for those is even going up. And they're not that strong, so I hate spending money to adapt it. And once you go CD09, it's still really expensive. You're still talking about $900 for a transmission, and you hope it's a good one. But that's potluck. You don't really know. You might get a good one for $900. You can get a new one for $2,000 straight from Nissan or from most of the swap companies. But all the adapter, flywheel, clutch, and everything else you got to get, it ends up probably $3,500, $4,000 to swap all that over. So that's not happening anytime soon. So what I've decided to do, since I want to get into drifting now, which I've always wanted to do that, but since I want to do that, I just want to build a simple seat time car, or as simple as I can. So I'll show you what I got and we'll go over what we're going to do. I got this Volvo 740 wagon from my dad for free. It's been sitting in his garage forever. I always planned on doing something with it eventually. This engine actually did run 15 years ago, and I could probably manual swap it, but it's just I guess it's a red block. I don't know that much about Volvos, but I don't really want to mess with that. So plan is to pull all this stuff out. And there's the 5.3 I've had forever, and I've got the harness and everything for it. And I've got an AR5 5-speed out of Colorado. That should work for it. And if that rear end doesn't hold up very well, there's a Ford 88. So I'm really moving on to the next project just because I have a lot of parts here already. So it's not going to cost a bunch of money. It's still going to be a lot of work. There was a company, STS something, you could get their oil pan. It was like $300, but they made a mistake of putting the dimensions on there. So I was looking at, you can find LS oil pan dimensions on the internet pretty quickly and compare them, and it was really close to the Holley 302-01, I believe is the part number, but theirs didn't say Holley on it. Then I got on Amazon, and they bought a $200 oil pan and sold it for $3. So I just went to Amazon and bought the $200 oil pan. Motor mount kit's $400, supposed to bolt right in. They're not that complicated looking. Couldn't justify $400, so I bought the welded up yourself kit for $70. So I'm hoping about $270 versus buying the bolting kit for $700. This really isn't going to cost that much. And I mean, you know it's going to nickel and dime you to death. It always happens. It just is what it is. The AR5 is supposed to be more of a more modern R154 Toyota Trans, something similar to that is what I've read. So it should be fairly stout. People are swapping them and things. The cool thing is you use a 4L60 bell housing, and the adapter for that trans, where like for the 240 and the 1UZ to the CD09, you got thousands of dollars. So the adapter for that transmission is like $460. You still got to get a clutch and a flywheel, but it's not a special clutch, it's not a special flywheel, there's no weird adapter crap. It's just a Camaro or LS1 clutch and flywheel. Then I got to get a clutch pedal in it, and we're good to go. Other than that, it's a bunch of fab time. Drive shaft, I'm sure the radiator and other things to figure out. But I don't see anything else being too big of a problem. So that's the plan. That's what we're going to do with this thing. It's I thought it'd be cool to, one, it'd just be cool to drive this thing to work with the V8, and I don't know if I'm going to end up turboing it or whatever. I just want to get the naturally aspirated V8 in first, play with it, get all the bugs worked out, and then we'll worry about if we're going to turbo or supercharge or do anything else. But that's it. So for right now, I think I'm going to set you up on time lapse, and I'm going to start getting this engine out of here. At least the transmission, it got parked because the transmission went out forever ago, so at least the trans is already out. I don't have to mess with that. But let's get after it. Sorry guys, I got busy and some stuff happened, so you missed a little bit, but the engine's over there on the floor, and we're getting ready to change the oil pan on the 5.3 before we set it in. I'll put the part number in the description for this. This is it's a Holley knockoff that Amazon sells, or several suppliers sell on Amazon. The sump's just a little further back and nowhere near as deep. It almost looks like you could get away with using the truck pan, but it's going to be really close to the ground. But once I got the engine out and everything's out, there's a crap ton of room in here. But we've got the oil pan now, so we're going to go ahead and swap it. Oil pan went on with no problems. All the bolt holes lined up. The pickup tube, the old one only had one bolt, and the new one had two. And getting to that second bolt kind of sucked because the timing cover rail is just enough in the way to make it a pain, but I got it in there. Now we'll get our mount kit out and set it on there and start dropping it in the car, see what it's going to look like. Company sold motor mounts that are supposed to bolt right in, but they were $400, so I bought this do-it-yourself kit. So if we get that on there, put a link in the description too, for 70 bucks off Amazon. So hopefully man hours versus dollars, this works out. Now last time I used some mounts like this, and the bushing goes on the car side, non-adjustable, kind of made it a pain because if you missed, you're kind of screwed. So this time I went ahead and got adjustable ones. So if it's a little off, it's not going to matter. But we'll get those on and get it slung in the car. Well, after putting it in, the bell housing hits right there at that top ledge and in the corners. So I looked at pulling the dash out. I don't feel like doing all that, so it's hammer time. So, Dad, if you're watching this, look away. Well, after hours of beating out the transmission tunnel, it's in there. It's just kind of floating right now. Engine's probably not going to sit perfectly centered. It's sitting a good bit offset, but it's just hanging there right now. So we've made some room. I've decided not to use the Amazon engine mounts. My brother-in-law was over here the other day and we were looking at it. We were thinking that you could use Corvette mounts, like C5 Corvette would be easier. Because they've got, if I can get the light held right in here. They come down and they've got a platform and it uses a puck style mount, just a sandwich mount. I think that'll be easier and give me more room. Because for right now, that company sells manifolds, STS manifolds, just simple cast manifolds to go down both sides. For right now, I'm thinking I can just come down and cross over at the front. Sneak past the engine mount and the other manifold, put a Y pipe underneath, and just run a single exit out the back. Eventually this may go turbo, but for now I just want a simple seat time car, just something to go play with and get comfortable. And I know it's a wagon, but everything was pretty much free, so that's why we're doing this. And it's going to be cool driving this thing to work. So that's where I'm at now. The engine mounts won't be here for a couple days. So that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Update on everything else. I think I've lost some subscribers when I changed projects. So I just wanted to let everyone know I haven't bailed on the Dakota. I've got the intake ready. Things happen people don't know about. Shit happens. So the plan was to dyno it yesterday. It didn't happen. It's gonna happen. Just don't want you guys to worry or think that I've bailed on it. I'll get to it. This is just a cheap project to keep me busy, and it's gonna be fun. And a big thing on my YouTube channel, this is all stuff I'm gonna do anyway. The whole point of this was just to start recording and sharing while I'm doing it. So that's why I go from car to car, 240, still waiting on the pulley to come in. I'm pretty sure I just got scammed, so I'm just going to have to order it from somewhere else and order a different hub. But it still runs. So 240, waiting on a pulley. Dakota, I've just got to get to it now and get to the dyno and see what that thing does. I know there's a lot of people excited to see. I'm excited to see what it's going to do. I hope it does something good. The Jeep, still got to fix the transfer case. The reason I quit working on the Jeep so much is because it was doing everything I needed it to do at the time. Now, when I dropped it off a rock, broke the transfer case, and lost some springs out the side, that wasn't what was supposed to happen. So now I've got to do some upgrades so that that doesn't happen again. So that'll be back soon. And I've opened up a Patreon account. Some subscribers said it's probably time to start doing that type of stuff. So I'll put it in the description. And if you guys want to help out, you don't have to. I'm going to be doing this stuff anyway. But every little bit helps, and it'll make me get content out faster. Because right now it's all just out of pocket. So I only got so much of that lying around. So it takes time to get to the next step and the next step. That's why it's not every week getting back to the channel. So if you want to give, give. If not, just have to wait a little longer. That's fine too. But I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll keep building stuff. Thank you.